Yes, Kaushik, we are live now.
Great. So do I get started?
Yeah, just start.
Okay. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to this session on DocuNinja, Slice, Merge, and Master Documents with ColdFusion. My name is Kaushik, and I'm working as an MTS2 in the ColdFusion team. And I've been working at Adobe from the last 6 years. Over my tenure at Adobe, I've worked on various features like MongoDB, Connector, Hibernate, and of course, HTML to PDF. So that's a bit about me. Let's get into today's session. So, in the agenda, we'll see firstly about PDF creation. Then, post the creation, we'll move on to PDF manipulation. And we'll also see what's new with spreadsheets. And we'll also see how we can create presentations and print these documents as well. And I have prepared a demo which will showcase most of these features that we'll be going through today. And of course, there's a quiz at the end for all of you. And so let's get started with PDF creation. So the main tag that is used for PDF creation is CF to PDF. So this will dynamically generate PDFs based on any web content containing HTML and CFML, and it will generate PDFs. So typical use cases you would have seen in your day to day would be, generating bills, reports, or invoices. So let's see how we can use this particular tag. So there are three ways in which you can use this particular tag. Firstly, would be using an input HTML file. So you can specify the input file in the source attribute. Second way would be to specify your direct web page link. So you can directly add the link in the source attribute itself. Or the third way is the inline script mode, wherein you just plug in the entire HTML tag within the HTML to PDF tag. And so for you beginners, this was just how you can get started with HTML to PDF. So in the package manager, you'll have to install the HTML to PDF module, and post installation, you have a page in the data and services section. So there is a page called PDF service where you can manage your service managers. You can add or delete service managers and edit them as well. And since the 2023 release, we've introduced a new feature here called the engine. So this is like a drop down of two conversion engines, and you can toggle between either 1.0 or 2.0. So we'll learn more about these engines as well. So let's see what the different components are within this feature. So let's go over, a typical workflow of how a user would interact with all of this. So user would initially send a HTML to PDF conversion request to the ColdFusion server, and within the ColdFusion server, you have the HTML to PDF module running, and this module hosts a service manager, and this service manager picks up the conversion request that was sent by the user. This conversion request is then sent to the ColdFusion add-on service, and mind you, this add-on service can be running locally or remotely as well. And within this add-on service, the main component is the Jetty server, which is running. And as you saw earlier, you have two conversion engines, conversion engine 1.0 and 2.0. Based on whatever the user has specified as an input, the corresponding conversion engine is picked up for conversion, and it would then perform the conversion, then send back the response to the ColdFusion server, which again gives back the PDF to the users. So this is like a typical entire workflow. So coming to the service managers that you saw in the admin page. So what the service manager is it's the major component which would manage all of your conversions. And so typically we have a set of configurations which can help you tweak the service manager as per your requirement. And so those configurations are listed here. So you have different things called like min service, max service, idle pdfg service, timeout, and waiting queue size. So let me give you a little bit about these things. So min service would be the number of processes waiting in the pool for the conversion. So let us suppose you have a specified here as maybe min service as 4. So in that case, before any conversion request is even sent, ColdFusion would spawn up 4 different services or 4 different processes, I would say, and then keep them ready in the pool so that they're waiting for conversion requests. And so, similarly, max service is the maximum number of services that you can have. And in case uh, you have more than the minimum number of requests, so then it would scale up that many number of services and cap it at that particular max service limit that you have specified. And coming to idle pdfg service timeouts, and so you would not have uh, a bombardment of requests always, and there would always be a lull, and during that period of time, keeping all of these processes up would just be eating up a lot of your memory and cpu cycles. And so after this particular amount of timeout, those services would be recycled. And also you have a waiting queue size, and this is the so this is the size of the waiting queue for all the conversion tasks. So once you have a list of requests, so all of these requests would be placed in a waiting queue, and this is the size of that particular queue, and this also can be controlled as per your demand and load. And last one is of course the timeout value, which is for a particular conversion task, which you can specify based on the size of the PDF that you're generally converting. And so if you have to convert like huge sized PDFs of say maybe tens of MBs or maybe hundreds of MBs, so then you would have to increase this particular timeout because it would take that much longer for the conversion. You can also specify custom fonts, so user can mention whatever custom fonts that he wants the PDF to be, I mean, he wants the font to be used by the PDF. So that particular path can be placed in these settings as well. And in the newer engine 2.0, we have introduced JavaScript capabilities. And so sometimes you would want to, debug and see what is happening under the hood when you have a lot of JavaScript running. And so we have enhanced the logging with JavaScript debug mode, and these are the possible values for that particular setting. So you can have none, positions, exceptions, functions, and lines. These are in increasing levels of logging. So something like exceptions would log only the exceptions which are being thrown. Functions would log every single function entry and exit. Lines would actually log every single line that is being executed. So that is the finer level of logging. So these are also the two settings that you can enable. All of the settings that I have been describing can be configured in the webxml file on the Jetty server mentioned in this particular location. So coming to scaling, so this particular feature has been designed with scale in mind. And so we will see how that comes across. So suppose you have one particular ColdFusion server. So each ColdFusion server can have multiple service managers within it. The only condition being that if you are on a standard license of ColdFusion, then you can have only one service manager. But whenever you are each of these service managers correspond to one particular add-on service, and within the add-on service you can have any number of conversion services. So these conversion services, the number of these is controlled by the settings which you just saw, the min service and the max service. So depending on the load, you can increase or decrease these services as well. And so each of these service managers will interact with their own add-on service as well. And so in this way you can see that it is easily horizontally scalable, and based on the configurations of your server machines, it can also be vertically scalable as well. And so there is a lot of communication going on from ColdFusion to the add-on service in this manner. And Coming to the security enhancements that we have done, and so this has been a recent improvement that we have done. Looking at the amount of communication that is happening, we wanted to make sure that this feature is more secure than ever. And so for that, we have come up with on the fly key generation. So during the initial first request, or whenever you add the service manager, there is a registration process that takes place. So during that registration process, we are now generating public and private keys on the fly, and then using these particular keys itself. And every time we either one of I mean, every time ColdFusion server is restarted, we would again generate these keys on the fly. So this ensures that security is always taken care of. And on top of this, we have added another layer of filtering, wherein on the Jetty server side, on the add-on server side, we have added IP filtering. And so in case any CF wants to interact with a particular Jetty server, be it local or remote, we would have to whitelist the particular ColdFusion server on the Jetty side, and so it would only accept requests from the whitelisted ColdFusion servers itself. And so these are the recent security enhancements which we have done to the feature. And yeah, coming to conversion engines. So conversion engines is actually responsible for the conversions from HTML to PDF. And as you have seen previously, there are two of them. So first one was the WebKit, and second one is the PDF Reactor. WebKit was the conversion engine which was introduced back in 2016, and that was the a legacy one that has been running till now. And PDF Reactor is the modern one which was introduced in 2023. So let's see the newer features that have been introduced because of PDF Reactor. So PDF Reactor mainly works on the server side conversions of HTMLs to PDFs, be it your reports, invoices, forms, or data sheets. So it can convert any of these things into high quality PDFs, which you can directly use as technical documentation or journals, or for printing or publishing purpose. So let's see a few features of PDF Reactor. So first and foremost, it is supported on all platforms, that is Windows, Linux, and Mac. It is highly reliable. It provides they provide very good support, and also it's mainly reliable because of its minimal formatting errors. So you could get as accurate as a PDF as you desire. And a lot of the latest features in HTML5, CSS3, and JavaScript and JavaScript are all supported by PDF Reactor. It can also handle conversions of large PDFs very efficiently. And another new feature here is conformance. So conformance mainly deals with the family of standards, that is PDF-A. So it can produce PDFs which are conformant to different conformance levels. We'll see more about this in the coming slides. And it also generates PDFs which are accessible, and so tagged PDFs are always generated with the appropriate nesting, so that those particular softwares can take advantage and advantage of the produced PDF. And it is of course highly performant, and it provides faster and more accurate PDFs. So yeah, coming to conformance, so mainly this deals with long time archiving of documents. So when I say long term archiving, I am talking about years, maybe even decades. So if you want to store your document for those many years, so there needs to be some kind of a standard, there needs to be some kind of restrictions. And so those standards and restrictions are PDF-A. And so PDF Reactor can create PDFs which would be conformant to these standards. So out of these, there are mainly, this is one of the first levels of conformance, that is PDFA1, wherein you have certain restrictions, like all the content must be tagged in a hierarchical tree structure. it needs to maintain that particular hierarchy, and you need to always mention which is the figures, and it's the metadata of the document needs to be mentioned perfectly. All the images and symbols must have descriptive text. And so within so similar to this, there are other restrictions as well. And within this particular standard, you have PDFA 1A and 1B as the other conformance level. So 1A is the accessible level. So this would always maintain that the document is accessible, and all the softwares like screen readers and all of those kinds of softwares can take advantage of the PDFs which are conformant to this particular level, wherein PDFA 1B is the basic one, which would make sure that the visual appearance of the document is preserved in the long term. And both of these are based on the PDF 1.4 specification. So moving on to PDF 2 specification. So here there were some more enhancements done on top of the PDFA 1 specification, wherein they had improved image compression algorithms, transparency, and layers. And they also allowed attachments for the first time in PDFA 2. And in this, but the restriction here is that you can only attach a PDF a conformant files only. And within this as well, there are three different sub conformance levels, I would say. So that would be like a 2A, 2B, and 2U, and this is based on the PDF 1.7 specification. Coming to PDF A3, so here the feature was mainly that it permits any type of file to be as an attachment. So why this would have been done is, like, you can think of use cases where you have certain data in different files, something like you have a spreadsheet, or you have like a Word doc, or you have some XMLs which have some particular data and which needs to be stored along with this particular PDF because it's relevant. And so those kinds of attachments as well can be archived using this particular conformance level. And so how you would create PDFs with this particular conformance level using HTML to PDF is by this new attribute called conformance, and it has all of these possible values which we just discussed. And coming to another improvement which PDF Reactor provides are the headers and footers. So if you see that any modern documents that are there, they come up with very good and dynamic headers and footers. And so you would want to incorporate your company's logos and have a very modern looking document. And so to accomplish this, PDF Reactor provides the functionality wherein you can specify any HTML content within the header and footer, and that would be rendered exactly over there. And so how we can do it using CF is that we have a child tag CF HTML to PDF item, and so within the type header you can specify any HTML content, and within the footer as well you can specify any content, and all of that would be rendered exactly. And so we did do a performance comparison between the two engines, and mainly we had like three parameters of file size, conversion time, and number of conversions. And so suppose you have file size on one side and the conversion time on the other. We took three different file sizes of 10 KB, 100 KB, and 2 MB, and you have conversion time there. And so looking at the two engines, WebKit and PDF Reactor, so this was the kind of results that we could see. And you can see here that across different sizes of files as well, we can see that PDF Reactor performs much better than WebKit. And so it provides a 1.3x improvement in performance on average. So that was mainly about PDF creation. So once you have the PDF at hand, there are still so many things that you would want to do with it. And so that is where we're coming to, which is PDF manipulation. And so CF PDF is the tag which you use for PDF manipulation. So firstly, you would want to read existing PDFs. So how you can read a PDF is using the action read. And so in CF PDF tag, the main thing is the action attribute. And so whatever different operations that you want to do on the PDFs is specified using an action. And so this is what you would be seeing for the rest of the operations as well. So here, if you want to read a particular PDF, you would use action is equal to read and then specify the document and source. And so all of the data would be read into the variable name. And another popular operation that we can do is merge PDF. So here we support two different kinds, you can say. So firstly would be merging two documents as such. So if you see here, we can specify in the source my PDF1 and my PDF2, and both of them would be merged together and to uh, to create a merged PDF. Apart from this, you might want to specify only few certain pages of different documents, and so that is done using the child tag cfpdf param, where you specify the particular document and the set of pages that you want to take from that particular document. And so you can mix and match here and then create the desired merged PDF as required. Another use case would be creating the thumbnails. And so here you would first read the PDF into this particular variable and then use the action thumbnail and give a destination directory wherein which all the thumbnails would be generated. And so what it does is that for each page of the PDF, it would create a 25% scale image and save those images within that particular directory. These are generally used in your preview softwares or uh, in your quick preview section. Generally you would get at a glance view to see what is there in each page. So that is where these thumbnails would be useful. And then you have delete pages. So here as well, if you want to delete certain pages or certain range of pages or maybe one or two pages, you can specify whichever the page you want and that can be deleted. Moving on, there is encryption of PDF, which is another important operation. So you have a lot of confidential documents, and you would want to protect them, something like maybe your bank statements or any other confidential documents. And so here you can specify the encryption that you would want. So you can specify different encryption algorithms here. And apart from that, you can also specify the password using which the user can access the PDF. And also for also another important use case is the watermarking. So that is also available here. So you can either add a watermark, you can specify the image, and you can also specify the position and the rotation and the opacity and all of these things. So you get level of control with the watermarking. And if you want, you could remove the watermark as well. And also another important manipulation operation would be redaction of PDFs. So this is mainly used for confidential or classified documentation, wherein you don't want the users to see certain parts of the document. And so here as well, you use the child tag of CF param and you specify the coordinates. So this is actually the X and Y coordinates of the section which you want to be redacted actually. And we can also electronically sign. So this is adding a digital signature to your document. And so you would specify the key store and the key store password. And you can also specify the position of exactly where you want the signature to be shown. And yeah, and if you say author true, then the and the author information is also shown in the digital signature. Another important operation would be optimization. So optimization, we generally have a lot of PDFs taking up a lot of space as well. So optimization would compress your PDFs using different algorithms, and it would also improve the speed of rendering the PDF, which is definitely an important use case. So considering there can be large sized PDFs and limited RAM in some machines as well. And text extraction is another use case. So you can get the entire text of a particular PDF into an XML format. So this would actually clearly segregate it into specific pages, and so each the text of each page will be specified in a separate tag within the myxml variable over here. So that was about PDF manipulation. So let's move ahead to spreadsheets. And so till now we were dealing with PDF. So when it comes to spreadsheets, let's see how ColdFusion can help all of you. So mainly spreadsheets in general are, a very powerful tool for data management. They allow you to, create, read, modify, and export Excel files programmatically. So currently we support XLS and XLXX format. The newly added one is the CSV format. So we will be talking about that in the next few slides. And so the main features of this are, you can dynamically create and edit spreadsheets. We also provide advanced data formatting options, and we can also import and export data from various other places as well. So they recently added functionalities are spreadsheet streaming, CSV operations, and spreadsheet formatting mainly. And within each of these, there are a lot many functionalities which have been added. I would encourage all of you to go through the documentation for the detailed list of features which have been added. And so when I said spreadsheet formatting, I mean that if you want to create, spreadsheets like this, so all of this is possible now through the formatting functionalities which have been exposed. So let's see what streaming spreadsheet is all about. So what it does, it creates a new streaming spreadsheet. So why this was useful is that, suppose you have like a huge spreadsheet of maybe 100,000 rows, and so if you want to read or perform those kinds of operations, or you want to create a particular document which of that scale or that size, so most of the machines would not be able to handle loading that size document within the memory at once. And so what streaming does is that, we process only a certain size of a certain chunk of that file at once. And so here the random access window size is actually talking about that particular size itself. And so each time you can say that, that particular a window or that particular chunk of document is processed. And so this is how you can create a new spreadsheet over here. And moving on to spreadsheet read, so similarly this would read the data in a particular in that streaming fashion itself. And then we support three different formats here as CSV, HTML, and query. So as needed, the data is then transformed into this particular format. So this handles large data sets or files without affecting performance at all. And so these are the parameters supported as source and the options. So if you look at the code over here in this snippet, so in the read struct we can specify exactly how we want to read and what exactly we want to read here. So it would be like in particular sheet 1 we want to read from rows 1 to 9, and we want to exclude the header row, and we want it in the format of a query. And so you specify all of these in the read struct and pass it to the streaming spreadsheet read method. And with this it would perform that particular read operation only exactly. And coming to spreadsheet processing, so this reads the spreadsheet in an incremental way. And so it reads and then processes them. So what I mean by processing is you can perform any number of actions or formatting and those kinds of things. And so how that is done is a small example is shown here. So here when you see that you can specify a UDF to the spreadsheet process method. And so suppose you want to generate a spreadsheet wherein you have different formatting for odd and even rows. So this is where you can specify that for my odd row I want a certain color and certain specification. For the even row I want different formatting. And so this is how you can specify that, and you can choose all the styling in these particular structs of my format and second format, and you can generate something like this. So apart from that, another major addition for this particular feature is the CSV operations. And so we can streamline the entire CSV data workflow, which is like reading, writing, and processing CSVs. So, and these files are generally used in a lot of places, like you have different analytics platforms, data aggregation tools, and financial reportings, etc. And it's a widely popular format that is being used. And we support the three functions like CSV write, CSV read, and CSV process mainly. So coming to the syntax for CSV read, and this is how we can specify the file path and the output format. So here, the output format mentioned here is the CSV string. If you want, it can also be a ColdFusion array, or it can be like a Java array, or it can be a struct as well. And so all of those things are also possible. And CSV write, so suppose you have a CF query and then you get query results from your database, you can directly now write it into a CSV file using the CSV write. So here the query result is passed to the CSV write method in this manner. And so that was about spreadsheets and its applications. And moving on to presentation. So it's not only PDFs or the Excel spreadsheets. So we can also create PPTs as well. So the major tag for doing this is the CF presentation tag. So let's see how that is done. So this is like a sample code for the CF presentation tag, wherein you specify the destination file where the file would be created, and each slide can be mentioned using the CF presentation slide tag. And within this particular tag, you can again add any HTML content that you want, and that would be rendered to create like a modern presentation slide. And you can also have the CF presenter tag. So these are like the two child tags that we have for this, and presenter tag would have all the information about the presenter. And finally, coming to CF print. And so after all of these different kind of documents, you would also, the end of the workflow would generally be printing uh, these particular documents. And so you can CF print tag allows you to specifically print if you want certain pages of a document or the entire one. And so all the PDFs which are generated by either HTML to PDF or manipulated by CF PDF can also be printed using CF print. And so this is how you can specify the exact printer that you have been using, the type of document that is PDF, the number of copies, the orientation, and all of it. So we need to keep in mind a few things while using CF print. That is, in case the PDFs are encrypted, then a certain permissions like allow printing needs to be specified, and the owner password. And in case the security manager is installed, and you'll have to add this particular permission in the ColdFusion policy file to grant that particular permission. And in case of Windows, the ColdFusion server must have the printer access use access rights for each of the printer. So all of these things needs to be kept in mind while using CF print. So yeah, let's look at demo now encompassing most of these features. So let me just switch to the demo. So what I have is a human resource company called People Forge. And so generally what a human resource company would deal with are a lot of candidates for different companies that they would be managing, and also the employees of their own. So I here as well have divided into have divided it into two sections, what is the candidate home and the employee home. So if we go into the candidate section, we can think of it as mainly three things. So either you are interviewing a new upcoming talent, and then once that interview process is done, we'll have to generate offer letters and manage all of that. And post that, the candidate would be joining, and so the onboarding experience also be needs to taken care of. And so if you think about interview management, so it can be like these can be the different positions for which candidates can be interviewing for. So they can be interviewing for a senior manager, a content creator, or a program manager, etc. And these are the status of their particular interviews in how they've done, or what is the progress currently. And so if you want to export all of this data into a PDF, and so we can do that by clicking on export data here. And so all of this particular data has been exported into this particular PDF. And as you can see, all the colors have been maintained, and all the structure has been maintained properly. And if you see below the table as well, you have two particular images, and these are SVG images which are kept in a CSS3 grid. And so all of that has been rendered properly. If I can also show you the code for this particular one. And so specifically, we have the HTML to PDF tag, and then we have the header and footer. So like I mentioned previously, this is how you can specify any amount of CSS or HTML within the header and footer. And so what you see here is that this particular icon is an SVG image, which is actually drawn using the SVG tag. And apart from that, you also have other elements as well. And so, and the rest apart from this header and footer is all mentioned in the HTML tag itself. And so here you can see the entire table and all of its styling being maintained. And so that is about the interview management part of it here. Post that, we so let's say one of the candidates was selected from the interviews. Let's see how what all the tasks which a HR would generally have to go through in terms of offer letters. So ideally they would have to create offer letter. And so here is like an offer letter of people forge. So you can see that this is like a 17-page document, which is a decent sized document. And you have images, texts, different sections, and you can see that you have forms as well here. And so uh, you can see like clear distinction between each section. And so this long document also has been rendered quite efficiently. And so after generating this particular document, so suppose the HR realizes that there are some other benefits that the employee needs to be provided with, and that also needs to be mentioned in that same offer letter document. And so here in this employee benefits addendum, you can specify other things like medical insurance, dental insurance, vision, and all of these kinds of other benefits that we have. These things also needs to be added to that. And so we can do that using the merge operation of CFPDF. And so as you saw initially, the one initially generated was 17 pages. The benefits addendum was of 5 pages, and so now we have a 22-page document. And if I scroll to the last 5 pages, you can see that the benefits addendum has been added at the end of the first document. And if you also observe one thing here, in the original document itself, there was a little bit of information about benefits. And so this is like a duplication of data, and we want to suppose delete this particular page. So then we can remove unnecessary pages using the delete pages operation. And so the two pages in between have been now deleted, and so we have 20 pages here. And so if we go to the fifth page, you can see that those particular benefits have been removed, whereas the one which we had added previously, those would remain over here. So after creating this particular document, the next thing would be, definitely we want to add a watermark for this particular thing. And so we can even add the confidential watermark that you can see behind over here, using the add watermark action. On top of it, you want to also digitally sign it and make sure that the uh, document is authentic. And so here you can also see that it has been digitally signed, and you can see all the author information. And on top of this, next important thing would be to encrypt it. And so currently I have added a password of people forge itself. So if I say people forge, only then uh, you're able to access this particular document. And finally, we have to optimize the file, and then we can send a mail across using CF mail. And so this particular page is now rendered very quickly, and so the offer letter workflow is thus completed in this manner. So if we want to see some important operations which we did, like signing the offer letter. So here we have CF PDF action sign, which would take the watermarked page as previously as input and the signed one as output. We specify the key store file and the key store password. And so this is how we are doing the CF PDF sign action. And apart from that, we can also see the encryption action as well. So here also we use the protect action, and we give the password for the owner password and the user password. So user password in this case is the people forge, and this is the encryption algorithm being used. And also uh, we can also see how the watermarking was done. And so you use the CFPDF add watermark option and give this watermark confidential as the image using which the watermark has been placed. And so moving on, so that was about offer letters and all of that handling. So next, now that those have been sent across, we can say go on to the onboarding tasks. So suppose on the first day, generally the candidate would want to fill some technical forms and those kinds of things, which they'll have to generally give the their particular personal information, something like employee name. They upload their photo here. They can again, yeah, give the kind of computer or laptop preferences. So you can see here there are a lot of radio buttons, check boxes, and different form elements here as well. And again, each of the logos here is an SVG drawn image, and so even all of those are rendered. You can even see text areas, etc., and all of it has been rendered well. And you can always have a consistent header and footer for each of these to make sure and give your documents that professional look. And of course, we always ensure to make the employee sign a non-disclosure agreement. And so this can also be like a very huge document in a lot of companies. And so this kind of a document as well would be handled with ease. And so here as well, we can sign this particular document, and the NDA is now successfully signed. We can see the digital signature like we saw previously as well. And so post that, we want to suppose give a quick intro to the team. And so we want to give some kind of information about the company as well a little bit. And so here you have people forge and the how the company has been doing, and the kind of stats the company has. You can even include the HTML5 elements here, something like audio. So if I click on that, audio also works. And apart from that, you can also make incredible grids such as these, which are looking very modern as well. And so all of this can now be rendered properly. And this is the HTML5 video tag as well. So this is probably showing off the PeopleForge office. And so even all of these elements are working in the PDF which has been rendered. Apart from that, we can also integrate it with CF chart. And so this is an SVG chart which has been generated using CF chart as well. And yeah, as you can see, all of these grids and images and icons and everything are rendered properly. And we can even have integration with QR codes in a very seamless manner. And so here, if once you just introduce the QR code, you can even click these, and maybe you can learn a little bit more about HR management as well. And so if you want to have a look at that particular page as well, so we can see how uh, this is how the CF chart has been rendered. So you can mention that the format is SVG and all the data. And so you can imagine getting this particular data from any of your other DB or anything like that, and then rendering all of that image and all of those things in that chart. And so here you can specify the audio elements in this manner using the audio tag. And all of this is inside the HTML5 semantic main content. So mainly it's divided into different sections of header, a main section, and like a footer section. And so all of those things are also honored. And yeah, apart from this, the first logo that you see here, this P has been drawn using the canvas of JavaScript. And so that is also being rendered properly. And so yeah, that was all about in that sense about the document. So here, if you want to also give a read through the employee handbook, so that so this is done using our CF presentation tag. So it would generate a handbook in this manner. And so these kinds of slides as well can be generated using CF presentation. And so all of this is also down to HTML and CSS, and all of this can be customized. And so in this manner you can generate using CF presentation tag as well. Going back to our particular PeopleForge website. So all of this, what you have seen so far, is the candidate section, and we also can have employee management and the employee section. So generally, what you have in the employee section is a lot of data about the employees, of how they have been distributed, how long they've been working in the particular company, etc. And so these kinds of analytics also, if you want to export to a PDF, that can be a very good use case in this scenario. So you can see that these JavaScript charts generated by am charts also are all supported. And so you have this particular pie chart rendered here, and this bar chart. Similarly, all of the other charts by charts would be supported. And also you can also incorporate all the CF charts as well, like I've shown you previously. So another important use case could also be viewing the pay slips of different employees. And so you could have all of their data coming from a DB of coming from a DB, and then all of each employee can check out their particular pay slip for a particular month. And so this could also be like an important use case which HRs sometimes would have to take care of. And so all of these kinds of workflows are something that CF helps you with. And so yeah, that was the kind of demo that I had to display all of the features of CF. And so if we can go back to the slides. So finally, from this session, if you want to have like a key takeaways are mainly, you can create modern PDFs using CF HTML to PDF, manipulate them using CF PDF. You can create or process spreadsheets efficiently with CF spreadsheet now, and you can create slides using CF presentation. And finally, you can print the documents that have been generated using CF print. So this gives you an entire workflow from creation to printing the documents in hand using ColdFusion. And yeah, I hope you guys have been listening for the session. I do have a quiz question for you guys. And so, uh, fastest fingers first. So let me give you a read through of the question that you have. So suppose you're building a compliance dashboard where HR staff can do these kinds of operations like creating multiple policy documents with headers and footers, digitally signing the documents, uploading the signed documents, merging them into a single PDF, generating a visual slide deck, and emailing the archive and deck to the managers. So suppose you want to do all this, so what would be the correct logical sequence of cold fusion tags to achieve this flow? So yeah, Apurva, if you can check the answers to what people are giving in the chat window. Yeah, I see Ripley has it. Ripley has given the correct answer. And so, yeah, C is the correct answer for the operation. So, good on you, Ripley. So, yeah. So, Dave also got the correct answer, but I guess it's slightly late. And so, yeah, that was the answer. So I would like to take any questions, and yeah, here are some documentation links for all of the things which I presented so far, and that is my contact. So feel free to hit me up with any queries which you have. Yes, I am going through the Q&A. Just give me a bit. So Ripley, is PDF React a part of 2025? Yes, it is. It has been introduced in 2023, and so all versions post that will have 2025. Are watermarks added by CFPDF the same as the ones watermarks manually added in Acrobat? So I am not particularly sure about the manual addition in Acrobat. I have not been using that much, but I believe it would be similar, as in you could drop in the image and use the tag. And yes, I will be uploading this entire demo in the public repo, Dave. So it should be available for you by tomorrow at best. Yeah, so great. Yeah, if you guys have any more questions, I would love to take them. Otherwise, it's been a great session. Yeah, thank you.